thing I always come across in life is comparison. When we compare ourselves to people that are 30 years ahead of us in their careers, it is very easy to seem inadequate, not confident enough, not doing enough. Whatever it is in life, it seems like we're not enough. Now, if we don't feel this way, it means we're probably not particularly ambitious. But if we do feel this way, it's probably not taking into account realistically what can get accomplished in a short period of time. So I had the opportunity to talk to one of my business partners, and they have a lot of things in flux. There's a lot of different avenues that they're exploring, a lot of different contacts that they've built over the years. Now, this person also happens to have a large network built up over generations, meaning that there is equity, there is a tremendous amount of capital and assets available that have been built by successful people in the family line. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Tarab, why are you talking about all of this financial shit when you're talking about emotional intelligence? The reason is because my goal is to create as many leaders that are incredibly successful in this world that are actually thinking about the problems facing humanity, actually thinking about perhaps the philosophies that might be problematic to humanity. And when it comes down to it, no one really cares about your philosophies if you do not have power. And power is accrued through assets and a network that will actually help you. Network built on trust, and oftentimes a network built with time. So I say all of this to you to say, listen, at the end of the day, you need to continue moving forward if you intend to accomplish the beautiful things in life. There needs to be a level of sacrifice that you're willing to put in. Perhaps you don't go on dates all the time. Perhaps you save that money instead to go into a conference and meet some people to get some insight. Perhaps instead of speaking so much, you actually spend the time to ask questions. Whatever it is, the reality is it's gonna come with some sort of sacrifice. And the sacrifice, really, the depth of the sacrifice, the depth of the pain that you're willing to endure needs to be proportional to the goals that you have set for yourself. So when you're comparing yourself perhaps to someone that's 30 years ahead, first of all, I congratulate you, because that means that you probably have some serious shit you want to accomplish in life. The other thing is, if you are comparing yourself to someone 30 years from now, you probably have some pretty good role models. The reality is, we're going to spend our time and our energy the way that we would picture our ideal selves spending it. The whole idea of manifestation really comes down to committing to an ideology of philosophy enough to envision ourselves there. So what does it take in order to do that? Well, we need to see someone that has done the thing that we want to do in order for it to be real in some capacity. Perhaps in a lateral field, perhaps in something that isn't even directly associated with our monetary goals, our financial goals, our quantitative goals. At the end of the day, seeing stories, seeing heroes in our life is essential in order for us to understand that things are possible. That longitudinal knowledge, that knowledge that things actually exist, that enter the sphere of our understanding, that is what inspires, I believe, most leaders. And that is what inspires a lot of action, because there must be a way to get there. So I make this video as a way to convince you that comparison is a part of life, is a very, very important part of life. It's something that we need to balance with who we think we are and what we believe our value to be in society. So alongside that, I wanted to talk also about the reality that we need to be spending our time around people that are also in the pursuit of creating amazing role models for themselves. And how do we go about finding these people, right? So the tendency is to believe that our friends are those people, that our family members are those people, because they're the easiest to get to. Reality is, oftentimes, they're not going to be the ones that you need to be talking to, and they're not going to be the ones that you probably want to spend most of your time with if your aspirations are to develop into a phenomenal leader or a phenomenal change maker in society. So I say to you very honestly that in order to find these people, in order to find the role models and the fun company to spend time with, we need to go out to events that people like that would be at. So conferences, master classes, any sort of networking group will necessarily show you something that you have not seen before, because the very people that are going there are spending a tremendous amount of time and energy probably outside of that one situation to create opportunities and meet people just like you. So I say join professional organizations. Spend the time and energy to make sure that you are being present, that you are networking all of the time. Because when you meet those people and when you have a chance to ask them those questions, that is when your world starts to open up. And that is when inspiration can actually take hold of your life in a very fundamental way. So I say this to you with obviously a large heart and a lot of love for the people that are aspiring to be especially great members of society, people that are actually aspiring to change the world in some sort of positive fashion. Now, I wanted to make sure also to convey to you that it's not going to be easy, right? When we start comparing ourselves, when we start having all these high expectations for ourselves, the reality is that ease is something that we have to resist. And oftentimes, ease is what our intuition tells us is actually beneficial. So when I say ease, I mean, listen, if you don't want to do the work, you don't want to wake up in the morning, you don't want to eat healthy, work out, whatever, there needs to be a part of you that is capable of putting that aside and saying, hey you, hey person that I love, right? Let us spend the time and energy to actually show up for ourselves, to actually give ourselves the motivation, the inspiration, the time, the environment to be the best possible version of ourselves. And that, my friend, again, will come down to how many people you have around you that are actually trying to push you forward by virtue of pushing themselves forward. So I hope this message finds you well. It was a shorter video than usual, mainly because I have a meeting right now that is set up by my amazing outreach employee that I have spent, I just got lucky finding, I guess, someone that spent 15 years essentially establishing herself with community service. And the cool part is that when your missions are big enough, my friend, when your missions are big enough, you will invite people into your life that will satisfy the things that perhaps you don't have. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care of yourself. Peace.